Hi guys, so welcome to a new Instagram Live episode. My guest of today is the lovely Mandvi Sharma, and Mandvi, who is a publicist and the founder of Tree-Shul Media Solutions, started her publicist career when she became the publicist of Shah Rukh Khan. And before she started her own company, she also worked as the head of corporate communication of Red Chillies Entertainment. And now she represents celebrities such as Kamal Haasan, Allu Arjun, and Vidyut Jammwal, and many more. And by being a powerhouse in media and entertainment, she changes celebrities in full-blown brands. And although I love seeing my favorite celebrities doing their thing, I'm always curious what their team does behind the scenes. And today she will tell us more about it. So if you're curious about how you can become an international brand, keep on watching. Hi,
Hi,
how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Same, good. Like I already worked out today, so I'm a little tired, but I'm happy that we can finally chat.
Ah, no, you're doing
Yeah,
such
but my day
amazing
started,
chats.
yeah.
I
So
I see all of them.
thank you so much. Thank you. I'm really curious about you because like you do a lot of behind the scene things. So I hope that after this
Yeah.
conversation, we get to know a little bit more. But
Mm.
before we start, I would love to ask you like how you're doing because like I said like before, we always use this as a greeting, but we don't really listen. So how have you been lately?
So I really have to mention this, that this is a very nice thing that you're doing. I see this in all your chats. You
Thank
start your interview with this question, and I think especially in this time of pandemic when people have been in their homes and it's been such a different environment, I think it's a beautiful question. I'm really fine. In fact, this time has been quite amazing for me. I
you.
have loved every bit of it. So no complaints. I hope you're doing well too.
Same. Sometimes I feel like it's really, how do you say that? Hard to tell other people's like this time has been really good for me. Like I had a lot of time to figure things out.
Hmm.
So no, but I agree. Like because like I know it's like a hard time for a lot of people, but it had like a lot of good moments. So I cannot
Yes.
complain. So thank you for
Yes.
asking. But I'm happy to hear that everything is going well. But before we dive into like all the questions about your career, can you tell like the people that are listening or watching later also what is a publicist? Like what do you do?
So publicists are specialists, or rather human tools, to basically build brands strategically for people, public figures across the board. It's not just in film industries, but it's also in music. Even political parties need their publicists speaking the right things, performing the right strategies. So these are people with specialities in the area of media and building a bridge so that people get to know about these public figures in the right kind of way. A
Mm-hmm.
proper brand is built around it. So
Yeah.
it sounds like a simple job. It's one of the
No.
most stressful jobs in the world. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Are you
but it's a
ever
lot of
like,
fun.
not working?
Sorry?
Are you ever not working?
Good question. No, I'm always working, but
Mhm.
I think I have landed up in a job that I really love, and I love working a lot. I mean, I am a workaholic, but it's just that it's too much fun. I enjoy doing this. So
Yeah.
it's not like, oh my God, I have to work again today. It's like I'm really looking forward to every morning, waking up,
Yeah.
doing my work. I just love it.
So then you know you found like the thing to do in life.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so, but I'm also curious about your day-to-day life because who's Manvi Sharma and how has your company born? Like, how did it all happen?
So at a core, I have to tell you as a person, I'm pretty simple. I
Mm-hmm.
like my home. I love my parents, and just that part of my life is super simple. But when it comes to my work, I got so many. Thankfully, I got so many opportunities that I made full, use of. Whether it was journalism, I worked with India Today. I worked with Times of India. I did journalism for 8 years, and then I switched sides to this side. And when you get an opportunity to work with a person like Mr. Shah Rukh Khan, it's an opportunity of a lifetime,
Yeah.
and I got that. So I think I've touched wood, been very lucky,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time, I think over the years, I've just learned one thing: hard work, hard work, hard work. It just keeps getting you where you want to be.
Yeah.
But eventually, listening to people, my mentors and people I look up to, they all stood on their own feet. tested the waters, worked really hard to build their own brand. And that's where Tree-Shul came about, because I just genuinely felt all the things that I've learned, I think it was time to just put it at one place and build that tree.
Yeah. Like you also thought about the name, so that's also a good thing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you said that you had a lot of mentors. Like, what is the best advice you have gotten like since then?
So, you know, there are so many people who keep giving advices, but the two people I actually always go back to are like my bouncing boards are my parents. And uh, I'm one of those lucky few who actually, I've switched my careers. I studied fashion, but I chose to write on fashion and not become a fashion designer. I then chose to leave journalism and become a publicist. So the constant support that I got from them and the confidence that I got from them really helped me do what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
So the only advice is that be ethical and never knowingly hurt someone.
Yeah.
And obviously work very, very hard. So no substitute to hard work.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. But also because like we're like in quarantine, so I can imagine like you work every day, and you said like you're a workaholic because you love what you do. But
Yeah.
what does the day of your life look like now? Because like you and your team are working at home, I can imagine.
Yes.
So like,
Yes.
how is that?
So my day begins very early. So does my team. By the way, I should tell you, I have a great gang of girls that work for me, and all fabulous women. So all our days actually begin very early. We start our day with the newspaper, very essential. I love reading newspapers because somewhere down the line, it just gives you, yes, you see your news channel, yes, you see your Twitter and your feeds and everything, and you get all that very quickly. But newspaper still has that old world charm. It gives you that in-depth analysis of every news. So we begin our day with that, and a session of brainstorming almost every Monday to what exactly has to be done in the week. And obviously going by the day, just understanding every client's need. It's very essential where their path is headed, because every single person has a different idea of where their career is going. No two actors have the same path that they're taking.
No.
So, and thankfully, we're representing amazing bunch of actors, producers, and they're all amazing. They're just great actors, great performers, and they all have their own leagues. So it's very important for us also to customize the strategy according to them and work our way through.
So it's still busy and like a lot of amazing things happening.
Yeah.
But I think it's also like really refreshing that you have like a lot of different clients in different fields, so that it's like entertaining also.
Yeah.
But if topics like a failed project or nepotism or other things come up, what is the first thing you do as a publicist?
So, I've written about all of these things when I was a journalist, and I have been a part of disaster management when I was working other places as publicist. And now my only thought when it comes to, anything that remotely sounds controversial or requires a different eye is first get all your details right.
Yeah.
It's very important to do your research, get your details, get your facts in place, because just saying things for the heck of it might get you publicity for that time, but doesn't get you respect.
No.
So in the most dignified way, get your information at the right place. And if the person you're representing it's important for that person to talk, we do suggest that you must lend your voice, because sometimes a public figure's voice can really help.
Yeah.
At the same time, there are two things one has to remember. One is a dignified silence. And two is too much of silence also can be misconstrued.
Yeah.
So it's important to talk at the right time, on the right platform, with all your facts in place. Otherwise, sometimes you just don't have to be a part of a revolution that your voice is not going to help.
No.
So it's very, very important that you assess the situation really well. And for me, I think it just helps that being an ex-journalist just makes me want to read a lot on a subject and then react to it.
Yeah. You also know when they want to use your clients for like headlines, or they
Exactly. Does my client require that kind of headline? It's very essential, because somewhere down the line, you might not need that headline.
Yeah.
in that particular time. There could be many debates going on, and that's been happening over a period of time. It's just increased right now because of the increase of social media, the online chatter. So be wise in how you lend your voice and to what you lend your voice. Like, we represent Shiny Gupta, and she's actively speaking about the social media bullying right now. And it's really essential. She's gone through it.
Yeah.
Manvi Gagru, who's a part of it, and Nikhil Talreja, who's a part of it. And a lot of people have been a part of that. And it's an important conversation. So I feel it's a wise way to be a part of a conversation that might just bring a change, not just for the public figures, but also for other people on social media who are getting bullied.
Yeah.
So
also they're telling their story, but only when it's like it makes sense also.
Yes.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
also, how do you, like, as a publicist, you don't control your clients, but you kind of guide them. So how do you make sure your clients like do their part to maintain their brand? Because I think it is really hard to like have like control.
So, I always felt that when you actually get a client on board, it's very essential from the beginning to understand your client. So we don't like just giving a vanilla plan to anybody. We're pitching to make them our client just like that. It's very essential to understand them. Two people, like I said, can be very different. So it's very essential to understand them, their path, and then we start working with them. At the same time, you're right. You can't control anyone. In fact, within your family, you can't control people, let alone your clients. So it's very, very important that you understand them and then you react. Because everybody has quirks. Everybody has good days and bad days. Everybody has those days that you just don't want to understand what's happening in the world and you just want to be on your own. So you got to have the tact to handle people and
The
make them
patience also.
you have to be it's a patience game. If you're wanting to become a publicist, keep your ego aside, lock it somewhere, and get your patience in, because everything you do requires patience. Dealing with stories, dealing with your client, and trust me, I'm one of those few lucky ones who has these amazing people who know what they're doing. So I guess it's very essential that if you know your job really well, to make the other person understand, speak in their language, make it simple for them, make them understand the benefits of it.
So communication is key.
Very, very important. Very important.
Happy to hear that you have like amazing clients that like communicate with about those things also.
Yeah.
But what is like the biggest learning you had during the years you were making a name for yourself? Because I can imagine you had like a lot of experience, like different experiences like during your career. So
I will be very honest. I never started working thinking that one day there'll be more than a few people who'll know my name. But because I'm sure, like you, me, or anybody who started their career, it's just that we got to be somebody. And we got to be somebody because we've worked hard and we've done well. And I see so many people work really, really hard to be where they are. And I think eventually what I've kept telling myself is that you get an opportunity, you're lucky, but to prove that you fit into that opportunity, you got to work really, really hard.
Yeah.
And that has paid me off, because somewhere down the line, I've also got to work with people who are really good at their jobs and work very hard. And I think because my work is so exciting to me, I just don't feel that I'm losing out on anything else, because I'm here, I'm living it, and it just makes me feel right.
Yeah. So you can compromise on a lot of things, but like on hard work, that's something you can just not do.
No, I'll be honest with you. I feel the hardest work in the world is of a homemaker. You must have seen mothers and sisters, and I now see men also taking care of homes. It's the most thankless job.
Yeah.
They don't get Sundays off. They don't get weekends. They don't get sick days. They don't get paid leaves. They still do it. So I think in our jobs, which are well profiled, and we get a perfect salary every month, we really have to appreciate what we have and work really hard to do it. Whether you're making a name in that field or not, I think at the end of the day, even if 5 people can vouch for you, that yes, this person really worked very hard, was ethical, and was good at the job, I think you've done your bit.
Yeah, beautiful, really interesting. But also like I said, like how you never knew that this is where you were be in your career. To be honest, like before the whole lockdown, I couldn't imagine like that I would interview people, and I really enjoy it. But it's been, I think I started end of March, and now that I want to like invite people for interviews, sometimes I have to go into like 5 or 6 people before I can fix like the meeting. So it
Right.
does really take so many people to maintain a brand of a celebrity, and like I can imagine that it's more than 5, but like sometimes I talk to 2 managers and I'm like, but like, yeah, how do you have 2 managers and then a publicist? So it's really interesting.
Yeah, so it's different for different people. I mean, some people have a big entourage to manage them because, they have different areas to take care of. It could be their brand, a different person, films, different person, personal manager, different person. When it comes to my job, they're generally one odd manager, one odd publicist. But I think it's just different for different people because there will be like big stars, for instance, I would say Deepika Padukone or even Shah Rukh Khan or Priyanka Chopra, they will require that kind of entourage because they require those teams for filter. But somebody who's starting up, is up and coming, I'm sure they have one person in the team. It is just work-based requirements.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is unnecessary. I am not going to deny that. But on the other times, I would feel that there are certain places, certain people, they do require those kind of people to just filter things down, to understand the impact of everything they do, because smallest of small moves can impact them.
For sure. And it will impact like the client as much more like
Yeah,
the whole thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think the team wanting to be thorough sometimes, it's okay. It's just fine.
Interesting. Also, like you've been working in the industry for quite some time now. So, if you could name like 4 celebrities which you would advise to hire publicists, like who would it be and why? Like, I'm really interested in this answer.
So it was very tough to think of this, but I'm going to take 4 names and then I'm going to tell you the reason.
Yeah.
One is Mr. Abhishek Bachchan. Second is Ranbir Kapoor. Third is NTR Jr., is a Telugu actor. And fourth, I would say, is Mr. Mammootty sir. He's a Malayalam actor. All 4 of them, out of selfish need, I really want to represent them because I think all 4 of them are fabulous in what they do. And I mean, I worked with Abhishek AB sir in Happy New Year, and he's a darling to work with. He's just so amazing to work with. And I've briefly worked with Junior NTR sir as well, and he's amazing to work with. So I think this is only out of selfish interest, because when I see a person who's talented and who's so good in their job, I just feel that if I can be in the vicinity of this person, I can learn so much.
Yeah.
I mean that's what happened to me. For 5 years, I was working with this rock star of a boss, Shah Rukh Khan, and he is so good.
You've
So
learned also a lot.
I have learned a lot. I've learned how to be a publicist from him. I mean, just watching him give interviews and just watching him do things in itself is such a good class that you're learning on the job and you're getting paid for it. So
Nice,
it was
nice.
good.
Yeah, and also like for example, like Ranbir Kapoor, like he doesn't have like social media. So would you like advise your clients like be present online, don't be like offline or something? Like, would you recommend that? Like if we talk about him, for example.
It's a need based. Ranbir Kapoor doesn't need to be on social media. He doesn't need it, right? But I also know that a lot of platforms in today's time, which is digital reach platforms, require the actors or the actresses to be on social media because it's very codependent. Your platform has reach, my platform has reach, so we're codependent on each other, and we reach a certain place, right? So definitely not for a person who's already a brand, but the person who's building his or her brand, it's important for them to have to be present in the right platforms, just to get that reach.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Nice. And like, if we talk about like talents, it can be like big ones or like upcoming. Like, when should someone like a talent like knock on your door?
I genuinely feel in today's time, everybody needs a publicist. One, I keep telling this to everyone who we meet that, oh my God, Sahil, what are you saying? Huge fan. So, I always keep telling people that the time, in such times when you've started your career, you've proved yourself in a project or two, you've reached a place where you can't be communicating on your own about everything. It's very essential to have a strategic communication, and even a brand needs a publicist now.
Yeah.
You cannot get the right information out unless you have a person mitigating that. You need that bridge all the time. So a brand needs a publicist to maintain the brand, and a person who's starting off needs a publicist to build that brand.
Yeah.
So it's a requirement for everyone. And I think when the earlier and the faster you get one on board, and you put a strategy in place, and you put those yearly plans in place. Okay, you know what, we've got to achieve this. Because it's, like I said, it's a patience game. You cannot become a brand in a few days, weeks, or months. It takes a long time. Gone are the days when people like the Khans, the Kapoors of the industry, or Mr. Bachchan, they've all come in a time when there was no social media. The entertainment media did not, have so much coverage. So they kind of were building all their brand based on their work only.
Yeah.
But now you're literally building your brand based on your social media presence, based on, what you're saying in the media. On what topic are you talking about? On which Ivy League university have you given a lecture? Whether your wax figure is in Madame Tussauds or not. So there are layers in which a brand is built now. Earlier it was simpler. So I think somewhere down the line, like a manager who's very essential to navigate your career, publicist is equally essential for everyone.
It also gives you like a blueprint. Like, instead, like, you will also be patient, but you also know, like, okay, I have to do this and this to become that brand. So that's really interesting also. But like, if we talk about like making other people like a brand, like, how do you differentiate yourself from other publicists like in the Hindi industry?
So when I was a journalist, I actually interacted with all of the publicists who I am in the same league with now, and they're all fabulous. They're all good. They all have way more experience than me, and I'm still, kind of learning every single day. But I wouldn't say I'm better than them. I would just say that I think the only thing that gives me a little bit of an edge or gives me an advantage of the fact is that I've been on the other side of the fence. So for me to react to the news is a little easier, because if I was a journalist, how would I react? I can always be the devil's advocate in that case. And to understand the news is easier.
Yeah.
So, which is also another reason why my consumption of news is a little larger. I keep emphasizing on that with my team as well, that there's no substitute to just getting the news consumed every single morning, because you know how your day is going to look like if in case something impacts you. And that's about it. I think everybody in my field as a publicist, and all of them, really working very hard. They're doing such a good job. And I'm glad that this career is getting the kind of importance it is now in India. Because a few years down the line, people didn't want to talk to publicists.
No?
They always thought that, no, PR as a profession in India has just got the spotlight. I mean, for years, journalists have never thought that PRs are supposed to be given that kind of importance. However, is another job which is very respectful. People are working very hard, and we're literally the bridge for the media. But the kind of respect a PR person should have been garnering is just happening now. And it's a good job. I keep saying this. I love it.
But it's also good, like, if you keep like loving your job, you will be doing this for a really long time. But also, like, what advice would you have given your younger self if you look back, like? and all the years of experience?
You know, now that you say it, I'm thinking, and I would just say that I would tell my younger self to listen to Billy Joel's Vienna quite often, because that's one song that, hold on, you crazy child, you're so ambitious for a juvenile. That's how it begins. I
Yeah.
love that song because, you know, while I'm an accidental journalist, so I didn't study journalism, and I was there and I was so eager to like learn everything and rush it through. I just want to tell myself it'll all happen in good time. Keep breathing while you keep doing it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, like, really happy to hear that, like, sometimes you think like, okay, in 10 years I want to be there, but you never know like how many jobs or like experience you have.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So really refreshing to hear your story about it also. But what are some things a lot of people also don't know about you?
Don't know about me personally or my job?
It can be both.
Okay, so as far as my job is concerned, I would say that people ought to, it's not just you're studying media studies in a good school or college that you can do this job. You have to come with a nose for news, yearning to learn more, a lot of patience and a lot of hard work. And you can't come to this industry, especially my industry, and be a starstruck person.
Yeah.
Because remember, at the end of the day, all of these people you're learning, you're working with, you can't be, you know, the one who's wanting to stand in the frame and get a picture because I work with the person. No, your priorities have to be very clear. And you have to come in this industry thinking that it is the profession of your life, because you can't work here for 1 or 2 years and say, oh, I give up. You got to have that patience, because even I struggled in my first year as a publicist or second year, because when you switch from journalism to PR, it's an odd combination.
Yeah.
And you got to shed the whole power game that you play as a journalist and put it aside, and then you got to become this humble person and get your things done. So that's one. I know a lot of people keep wondering what PR is, but they don't know much. So I think it's very important to get your priorities straight before you come to this job. And personally, I think a lot of people don't know that I don't know, I love poetry, I write poetry, and I love to dance.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it.
Oh, nice. Like, there's a good balance, like, between working and having like fun.
Oh, I love music.
Nice, because I really admire your story, because I think also, like, I don't want to say people don't get credit and you don't do your work only to get credit from other people, but like, you see like the celebrities, but you never know like what happens behind the scenes, and I think like there's also a lot of work behind that. So I really admire your story about that. But before we end this interview, like, what is your personal mantra you live by?
I think, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, that every different phase of our life has a different philosophy. So when I was younger, I believed in live life to the fullest and all of that and everything. And I think now I've reached a stage where I have my blinders on, I have my focus clear, and I keep making these smaller goals. I don't make the big ones.
Yeah.
I make the smaller ones. Because eventually I know what kind of life I want to lead at a certain stage if I reach that age, yes. But I think the smaller goals help you reach or make the bigger goals. So for me right now, my mantra is very simple, that I do my job till I reach that goal and prepare for the next one.
Next one, yeah. Like it's in chapters. It's like not the whole book.
Yeah.
Nice. I totally agree with that, because like, to be honest, like, I also try to have like big goals, and then you don't know where life ends, like, or you go another career. So
yeah, because life is so unpredictable. You could be doing this chat with me, and you could be getting a call from, say, a director saying you're suited for a role, and we like you, and suddenly your life's changed completely.
And you're like, whoa, I didn't expect that. Like, yeah, that's also
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you so much for this conversation. I was really looking forward to this.
Thank you so much. And you're
Thank,
doing such a fabulous job. I'm so glad you're doing this.
thank you. If
Uh,
you have feedback, let me know. I can really learn a lot.
no, but thank you so much for doing this. In fact, I have to tell everybody who's with us live that when she asked me to do this live, I was asking her, why do you want to talk to a publicist?
No, I want to talk to you.
No, but this is really sweet. Thank you so much. I really
So
enjoyed
much.
doing this with you.
Thank you. Same to you. Have a lovely night.
You too, and please be safe and take care.
Same you too. Bye
Bye.
bye.